Welcome to Project Management Continuous Assessment 2, voiced by Conor McBride, scripted by Lukas Simko, edited by Siobhan. What I'll be talking about in this presentation: what we learned as a group, our project management system choice, Agile versus a traditional SDLC, example, waterfall, project management challenges, and why Agile is so popular. So, what skills have we learned? We learned how to choose a leader due to the fact that all three members had leadership qualities. We learned how important communication is in regards to new ideas and how to motivate each other as team members. We had to learn how to adapt due to the fact that we are a completely new team. We did not know how each other worked in this new scenario. Delegation was also a hard part for us, as we had to learn how to properly delegate to 3 people instead of either a 1-person team or a 2-person team. Planning was also way harder, as there's more moving parts in the project. We had to learn decision making quickly. This was because as soon as the project started, decisions needed to be made, such as who ran the project as a leader and who done what work. Conflict resolution was surprisingly one of the bigger parts of our project. This was due to the fact that there's 3 people with stubborn personalities, and conflicts arose from this. We quickly had to squash them as they were a complete waste of time and did not help the project at all. What kind of lessons did we learn? We learned how important team meetings are, as I let you touch base with your team to see where they are with the work, and you can also show where you are with the work. It's a great way to generate ideas, and it's also a way to air grievances or say if you're struggling with a part of the project. This can be a way for a person to leave that part of the project and start something new, and a person who is more suited to that part of the project take over. We learned how important methodologies were. We did not appreciate how important they were before the start of the project, but we quickly learned how methodologies in the workplace are essential and how important it is for a project to be successful. We had to learn how to take criticism. We wanted to bring any and all criticism given to us into our new projects, as we think it can improve the way we work. We had to learn that sometimes if you're the leader, you have to leave other people lead. That means if someone has a better idea than you or can work better than you, you can let them take the reins. We also didn't appreciate how important debriefing was before the project, but it is important because there's a time where you can come together as a group and see where they stand on a problem. This leads to a discussion about the problem, which makes the problem more clear to the group. This can also lead to general learning for the team, as other people bring other ideas and strengths to the discussion. The project management software we chose was Trello. What is Trello? Trello is a visual collaboration tool and a task management application that organizes your project into boards. As you can see from this slide, we organize our boards into 4 sections: a to-do board, a doing board, a complete board, and a meetings board. One of the main reasons we chose Trello was because Siobhan has great experience using the application. Trello can be extremely useful for projects management planning processes, as you can assign a team member to an activity and track it until it has been completed. Trello is also very useful for scheduling purposes, as you can set due dates for each activity. What kind of advantages does Trello have? For a start, it is very flexible. It can be used for any kind of project, whether it be marketing, sales, research, and our personal everyday planning. It is very easy to use, as it is designed on a drag and drop principle, so anyone can use it. Someone does not need computer skills to use it. And what kind of disadvantages does it have? Its premium features pushed heavily on the free account user, which means that there's limitations on the free account. We also found that there's little to no graphing tools on the platform, as we tried to make a Gantt chart generate and it was not available. Next, I will be talking about client requirements in regards to Agile and a more traditional SDLC, like Waterfall. Firstly, with Agile, it requires less information from the client at the beginning of the project, due to the fact the client is involved throughout the process. Whereas with a more traditional SDLC, like Waterfall for instance, you have to get as much information as possible. So much information that, in fact, some of it may be useless in regards to the project. This is because you will not meet the client until the product is deployed. There is little to no customer feedback throughout the process. Also, if a client would like to add a feature to the program, it is next near impossible, as the whole project will need to be started again, and this will lead to time restraints and a huge rise in costs. What kind of challenges do project managers run into when adopting an agile methodology? Flexibility is a big part. In a more traditional business environment, products are expected to be released as one final product. But with Agile's iterative deployment, they won't be used to only getting a part of their product, which they might see as a bad aspect of Agile. Another big factor that comes into bringing a new methodology into a company is motivation. When bringing in a new way of working, there may be a pushback from the staff who have worked a certain way for a certain amount of years. So managers will have to show how much better Agile is compared to their old way of working. Changes to team meetings may be a huge part as well. With Agile, there must be quick daily meetings so that everyone can touch base and so everyone knows where everybody is. This is important because there are so many moving parts when it comes to big Agile projects and so many teams. This is also a space that people can say if they're struggling with a certain aspect of a program, and they can be brought over and someone else can be brought over to their point. This is a stark contrast to the old way of doing it. Meetings used to be run long and far between, and this is a stark difference. Employee autonomy. This is nearly essential at the beginning of an Agile project, that it is not scrutinized by upper management. This is so the team is working towards a good product instead of towards a checklist put in place by management. Dealing with customer feedback is probably the biggest change. With Agile's deployment method, the team will have constant feedback. This might overwhelm them if they're not used to it. It is management's job to deal with this correctly. And finally, why is Agile so popular? It's popular due to its iterative deployment to customers. They get part of their product over time. This keeps the customer happy, but also provides valuable feedback to the development team. This is essential, and it essentially makes the product future-proof. It is very adaptable. If a client wants to add a new feature, the whole process does not need to be started again. A quick turnaround means that, as well as customer satisfaction, another project can be started. Unlike a more traditional SDLC like Waterfall, if a new feature is added, the whole project would need to be scrapped. Developers also have a broader base. This is because full stack developers are favored. This is due to how many moving parts there are. And if a developer is able to jump from team to team, then they are more desirable. Thanks very much for listening.